What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the FansToys Mercenary Reissue, their version of a masterpiece Shrapnel. So this just came out in 2021. This is an older figure. They've just reissued it. I'm going to go over today to try to show you any differences with the original figure, and I will bring in the original figure as well for comparison. But just a spoiler alert, there isn't much different here. This is really pretty much identical to the original, but I will point out any differences wherever I find them. So first up, the card, ever so slightly different. The colors are a little bit darker, and of course it says 2021 instead of 2015 there. Here's the back, pretty much exactly the same there. The instruction manual is, again, I looked through, they are exactly the same. Only difference is this smaller. So they made it this smaller book, probably to fit in the box. The original one was a little too long, and they had to curl it up. You can see my book is a little bit bent because it had to be curled to fit into the box. So that's probably why they did that. But that's really it. The rest of the figure and the rest of the stuff is pretty much the same. But we will go over what you get in the box. You do get 3 nice Energon cubes to display him with. Insecticons loved eating Energon. You get 2 guns here, so you get one in the chrome, one in the purple color. I prefer the purple, but either one. And these fit in just like normal, typical masterpiece weapons. It's got the little tab. Or if you prefer, you can have the chrome one, or you could have both if you like. There it is with both. You also get this alternate chest piece, translucent. This is exactly the same. The 2 guns are the same, no change there. So if you prefer that more toy look, you could swap that out. And we'll take a look again in the bug mode, but you do get alternate legs for the bug mode if you want the more toy look. And these are all exactly the same. No changes to any of the accessories. I did want to show them just to be 100% complete there. Let's take a look at the figure up close. You get some nice metallic red for the eyes, silver face, painted gold here. It is actually more shiny gold. Silver here on the thighs, and then black here on the bottom. This is painted surface here, and then purple and yellow on the toes. On the side here you have a little bit of silver there. Here's the back. You have a yellow here, which you'll see more in the bug mode. Pretty messy back. There is a lot of stuff back here, all the legs. It does kind of compress down into this shape, but either way, still a little bit of a mess there. But overall, pretty good thing. Oh, and a little bit of blue paint here on the sides. But very good looking robot. It does have some nice articulations. Let's take a look at that. So the head is on a ball joint and gets up to there, down to there. Kind of limited, honestly. And then because it's in between these 2 posts, it's a little tough to get him turned, but you can get it turned around. It's just, you gotta be careful because it gets caught up there. And I don't want to scratch the paint, but it is a tight fit there. You can get a little bit of side to side. These do move, but as you move them, they move these face covers. So you basically have to have them all the way out. You don't really have a choice on how you articulate it. Also, these are fingerprint magnets, so I suggest after you play with it, just wipe them off because that chrome, you want to keep the shine on that. Getting down, you have the shoulders on this joint here that lifts all the way up. Fortunately, it does collide there, so you got to lift that up a little bit. They do rotate. Here, let's take the gun out of the hand here. They do rotate all the way around. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend. You have a wrist rotation here. And the hands open up on a single pin, similar to all their mini bots. On the bottom here, you got the nice little gun, which on the original toy that ended up being, I believe, ended up being one of the legs, something like this. So that's cool that they molded it in there just so you have that look. That's really nice. Continuing down, you have a rotation at the waist. No ab crunch, just the rotation. Goes all the way around. Legs go up to there on friction. Back to here, a little bit hindered by its own mold. I don't know why they do stuff like that. That kind of annoys me, but it is. And then goes out to the side on friction. Rotation at the thigh, it does break the sculpt just a bit. Double jointed knee. Continuing down, you have an ankle tilt all the way out to there. Really nice and deep and tight. That's good. You also get a... let's see, do you get a toe tilt? No, you get a rotation here. You get a toe tilt down, but not really up. So, and that is for transformation, so you can get it kind of walking pose. And for a quick size comparison, there is Mercenary next to his Insecticon brother, Grenadier, and Megatron. And looks good. They are both basically exactly the same size, and they fit well with the Masterpiece collection. Just overall good looking scale, just good looking in general. And just to be complete, here's a comparison with the original version of Mercenary, and they are basically the same. There really is no change here. All sides, all the parts. I am gonna transform this obviously, and we'll see if there's any differences in the tolerances, but as far as the actual molding, the parts, the way they've made it, everything is pretty much identical between these two figures. Alright, now let's get Mercenary transformed into his bug mode. And relatively simple, but there's a couple steps to watch out for. By the way, before we transform it, here's the backpack configuration. I like to put it in as compact as I can get it. There isn't really a right way, and in the instructions it's not very clear. But this seems to be the most compact configuration. Go ahead and get these arms pulled out of here. We're going to kind of move all of this out of the way, and that's going to give us some room to work. You can take these legs, put those down. Right. Come to the front here. Go ahead and close this panel here to cover up the face, and then you can close these pincers down. You don't have to close them all the way, but you can just kind of set them like that. Open up this chest piece here. You're going to do two things with these arms. You're going to push them down, so you can see the little black piece came down. And then you're going to push them in. So it should be collapsed like that. Same thing on this side, you're going to push it down and in. Go ahead and close this back up. I'm going to rotate at the waist. So rotate the waist 180 degrees. So the legs end up like this. Alright, next we're going to take these panels here, unpeg those, and get those rotated to the front. So rotate these 90 degrees so they go like that. Same on this side. Rotate this down into the front. Now we can take care of these arms. So split it right here. Rotate it down like this, and you can see there's a tab right there. It's going to go into that slot right there. So make sure you have this elbow folded flat like that. So that's the configuration you should have. So once you have that, go ahead and rotate this around, and this is going to end up pegging in to his back. So get that pegged in. It should look something like this when you're done. Right. Same on this side. Break the connection there. Rotate it downwards. Should end up looking like this. And then rotate that in. And peg that in. All right, now that we have that, we can work on the legs. So legs are probably the more challenging part. Go ahead and pull the foot straight. That's going to give you a little bit of leverage to lift up this panel. This panel is really tight, at least on this copy. So, but you do want to get this kind of pulled away from the leg. There we go. Same on this side. Use this for leverage. Yeah, that one's a little bit easier. And once you have that up, you're going to collapse this down. All right, now go ahead and slide this leg down. You can see this tab is going to meet up with this slot here. And it can be a little tricky. You got to get the alignment all correct. You should be able to get it all the way down if you have that correct. And then over here, there's a peg in the foot that's going to go into the back of his knee. If it doesn't line up, it means you don't have things quite pushed all the way. All right, but that's that for that. Before we put the next foot in, go ahead and get this down, because this is going to end up in between the two legs. So you got to make sure that's tucked away. You can just fold these legs out of the way for now. But this part should be inside of there. All right, so now same thing on this side. Open up this panel. Slide the leg down. All right, make sure you have this panel up. It is a little bit tricky to get that all lined up at the same time, but slide this all down and make sure you have this pushed all the way forward as much as you can, and slowly line this up. All right, come to the bottom, make sure you've got that in place, and keep sliding. And then go ahead and get this pushed in. Come to the bottom here, make sure you have this centered in there. And we're going to squeeze these legs together. If you don't have everything lined up, it will have trouble going in, but it looks like I got it. And finally, for the finishing touch here, we can take the legs and we're going to rotate this down, which means you're going to have to rotate these arms up and out of the way and get those flat. Same on this side, rotate this up. And then get that whole panel flat. And these are just going to sit like this, off to the side. These legs you can basically just, I mean, you can do this however you like, but I like to put them, let's see, like that. Of course, you can adjust it whatever you think looks best. And then these back legs, you can kind of have them out to the side. And there you have Mercenary in his bug mode. Pretty cool looking. Let's take a quick 360. I do notice this chest panel sometimes pops up, but still got the nice shiny chrome. Here are the bug eyes right here. Here's the side. That yellow paint shows up here and the blue on top. Here's the back. Relatively clean. Bug legs do look nice. They have quite a bit of articulation. You can move these pincers in and out all the way if you like. These side legs, they bend here, rotate here. Front legs rotate here, here, and here. So it's 3 points of articulation and they rotate. And then the back legs rotate here on this joint and then here and here. So lots of articulation on these legs. You can really get them positioned however you like. I prefer to have them like this, with kind of a little bit angled back to the sides and to the front. You can store his weapon. Now we're going to try to do it with the standard weapon, not the chrome, just so we don't scratch up the chrome. But you can see there's a little slot right here in the back, and that's where these two tabs are going to fit in. And it might be something you want to do before you get everything all tabbed together, but you should be able to get this into here and then squeeze that back together and you can store that down there. And there is Mercenary next to his bug brother, Bombshell, and then also next to a FansToys vehicle. You can see it's actually about the same size as a vehicle in terms of length and width, a little bit taller. Works for me. I like the size, I like the scale. All the bugs seem to be around this size, but there you go for a comparison. Final thoughts on Mercenary. Let's start with the positives. It looks really nice. The paint detail all throughout is really well done. It really feels like a masterpiece in terms of the materials and the overall articulation, the sculpt, the build. And it just looks great. The number of accessories you get also are really good. Appropriate for this character. You do get G1 style legs and chest if you want to make him look like that. So that's a cool addition. Negatives wise, I don't love the way these work as you articulate these. If you wanted to articulate them in robot mode, you can't because it brings these face covers down. So you can't do that. And that's kind of disappointing. You know, it's just unnecessary. Also on the back, you got a lot of kibble here. Just like the Bombshell figure, it has a lot of stuff on the back here. Not very pretty, but of course we don't look at our figures from that side. So not horrible, just not the best either. Overall, I do recommend this figure. I really like it. Now, if you have the original release back from 2015, then there's no reason to get this figure because there's literally no molding changes, no accessory changes. Nothing has changed between the old one and the new one. Only differences are the box and the collector's card and the instructions being a little bit smaller. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.